Hey Two friends, welcome back for another Shadow Day. I'm out here on my 2007 Honda Shadow Spirit 750. My name is Dustin, and today we are going to talk about Sissy Bar that I am going to attach onto the back of this baby, just so I don't have to wear a backpack the days that I ride this to work. So let's roll the intro and I will show you some video of what this Sissy Bar is all about and put the name of it on the screen because I failed to look at what it was before I hopped on the bike. So yeah, as you can see, that is a nice tall Sissy Bar. I just, you know, every day that I can ride, I ride. Now, if there's a good chance of rain in the forecast, I don't voluntarily ride to work, just if I can avoid it. But if it comes up during the day, I guess, I mean, I've been sprinkled on many times. But it's one of those things where I just hate wearing that backpack and it just pulls down on my shoulders. I don't carry a lot in it, but some of you may know that I picked up that Viking bag. It's a tactical bag. It's got a laptop sleeve in it. I still got to do a review on that too. One thing kind of at a time here. It's been kind of a busy trip busy time with GPMM. And then we had some company that came too that you guys will see coming up here in probably a couple weeks. Gonna get a Shadow Day video out to y'all. But we're heading out here to the lake and I'm going to do a little walk around. Now that you saw how this Sissy Bar looks, it was definitely difficult to put on. I will talk about that after you take a look. Actually, let's just play the installation of the Sissy Bar and some of the things I went through. Then I'll do a walk around of it, and then I'll talk a little bit more about how that installation went. So here's some installation. We got to take these bags off. So I have the 18mm socket, and we're going to take 2 bolts out and see what we have. I've never had these bags off before, so we will see how this goes. Just going to support this hanger while I'm loosening. There. Now that one's loose. That one's loose. You should be able to pull this. The whole piece to come out together. So now while I have this chrome cover piece off of here, I'm going to clean this all up just because it's exposed. And then I'm going to repeat the same on the other side. And then we will check back in with you and show you with both sides off. So we got the right side off, cleaned up. Get the left side off and cleaned up. And one thing I'd like to point out, if you are doing this at home, this fender, rear fender, does bolt on through those as well. I should have really known. I didn't look into it, but I discovered it as I was going. Like, why is my bag hitting on here now all of a sudden? Well, that's because this fender can move. So I just have it kind of resting. The seat's holding it a little bit in place. So now I'm going to reassemble everything with the Sissy Bar. All right, so I'm going to tell you something nobody told me. And yeah, you guys kind of had to see how the Sissy Bar went together and all that. But if you're by yourself trying to do this project, you're going to need this piece separate just so you can hold it up here to get the bolts in. And I have to somehow do this with the saddlebag at the same time. So having it all together just wasn't going to work very well, I didn't feel. And maybe it could, I could probably put a bolt in to hold it on one side to kind of balance while I worked on the other. And maybe ultimately that's what I'll end up doing. But at this time, I took this piece off just to be able to get it back up here, get this piece on, and then put this piece on over the top, and then put my saddlebag in between. So let's see how this goes. Get both pieces hooked onto the bag here, and then get pushed in. And remember, we gotta lift the fender back up. Trying to screw the front one in. It appears that it's attaching to something. Okay, gotta shed the flannel. Worst case scenario, I see Mrs.TWOWHEELD pulling in, so maybe I can get her to come in and help. We'll see. These bolts are super long, and these flies are just driving me absolutely nuts. Okay, so off camera, I had to have Mrs.TWOWHEELD help me, because holding this stock bracket, the Sissy Bar bracket, the saddlebag, and the little holder here to keep everything from bowing into the wheel, and tightening on the inside, those two bolts all simultaneously was not easy. And then at the same time, you have to lift the fender up to get the bolts lined up into the threads that go into the fender. So this fender, there's little holes that go through, but then there's the nut that's hooked inside. Everything seems tight. A little bit worried about over tightening or cross threading something, but when you look at the gaps here on this side compared to this side, it tells me that it's all on right. So now it's time to attach the Sissy Bar on to the two brackets that hold it on. Okay, leave that slightly loose until we get them all half tightened here. I know you guys can't see this the best, but you probably see me in the Sissy Bar at least. So the ratchet will not work for, let's bring you up here. Here's what we got going. Ratchet will work on this one. Ratchet will not work on this one due to the clearance right here on the bottom. So I'm gonna grab the 3/8 wrench, or probably for this weird one, I'm gonna grab the 10mm, and maybe the 10mm will fit on the others, but I'm gonna get this tightened down and then I will show you all what it looks like. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna make sure the distance up and down here is parallel to this. This can move a little bit where you want it tightened, but I just feel having it straight with the brackets aesthetically, that's gonna be the most appealing to my liking. If I had a ratchet wrench, that would make things much better.
I'll add it to my list of Dustin gifts. Ratchet wrench.
And those are nylon locking washers, so I didn't use any Loctite, but I will keep an eye on it to make sure it stays nice and solid. So as you guys know, this came with the pad. I'm not gonna put the pad on because I don't ever intend to have a passenger on here. I mean, a seat that is just barely, barely thick is not very comfortable at all anyways. So my bag will basically latch on and just kind of ride on the seat, and I'm going to call that good with that. But we will get this outside and I will show you a little better view other than with a messy background. And put the Road King behind it. But we'll get a better view for you. It's a little breezy out here today. Alright, so there's my 2007 Honda Shadow Spirit 750. I almost screwed that up. It's a C2 model. And there's that Sissy Bar on there. What do you all think? I definitely feel like I need some taller bars now, which I do need to get. That thing is staying permanently attached, as you saw in the videos, where it attaches with the bags and all that. All right, let's go ride. So now that you guys have seen it, what do you all think? What do you think of it on the bike? I'm a little bit mixed feelings on it. Like, it definitely is taller now than the bars, which is fine because it's going to serve its purpose. Now, but I know I need longer bars. I have something else for this bike that I need to install yet. I've had it longer than I had the Sissy Bar, but I felt that the Sissy Bar was a little more important at this time to get installed. But I do need to get the other item put on. And I feel weird I didn't put this camera on, so I can't talk to all you guys like I normally do. So if I get a little taller bar, I feel that'll go a little better. This is definitely permanent because it was a pain to put on. So I thought, Mrs.TWOWHEELD's gone. Oldest is at work. I'm just gonna throw this thing on. It'll be like a, I don't know, 15-minute, maybe 30-minute project total. 4 bolts, how hard can it be? Well, with those 4 bolts, it holds the stock chrome plate on, the cover for the frame, and then it holds the Sissy Bar bracket, and then it also holds the saddlebag on, which has the support brackets to keep from hitting the wheel. And then you have to pull the fender up because where the bolt goes into the fender, it kind of drops when you take everything out. And I probably could have been smarter about it and did one side at a time. But the Sissy Bar came with no instructions. I've never done this before, so it's a little bit of kind of learn as you go. So if you get this, leave one side attached, then put the other side on, tighten, and then do the other side, because I feel like that fender's not going to move. But when this fender dropped, it kind of had to be lifted up and pulled towards the rear of the bike to get everything to all kind of fit into place. And I definitely had to recruit the help of Mrs.TWOWHEELD on it because I was getting frustrated. She happened to come home at the time I was working on it, and I said, hey, can you give me a hand, because I guess we're not going to go this way. I probably would have noticed, but I looked at that vehicle that turned. Well, that's not something you come across every day. somebody should come and put some cones down right there at that stop sign. Oh well. No harm, no foul. I don't know who's cleaning it up though. There's somebody there. But anyways, I think it would definitely be easier if you left one side hooked up. I thought, well, I'm going to be proactive. I'm going to take both bags off. And as you saw, I had the entire Sissy Bar assembled, and my intent was just to put it up there and attach it and go. And it turned out that I ended up having to do it a little differently because I couldn't hold it all in place. And this Sissy Bar is pretty heavy. It's not hollow. It's solid bar. So it's got some weight to it. But I think I got everything in. I was worried that I was cross-threading, like the angle of the bolt going into the fender. Got my blinker on yet. Dang Honda. Anyways, everything tightened up. The fender seems tight. If I cross-threaded it and the next person or me or whoever's got to take it out, I guess it's going to be dealt with at that time. But I think we got the bolt in straight, but I didn't feel very optimistic about it. But yet, I'm like 95% sure it's in correctly, so there's that slight chance. And yeah, you might harass me in the comments below, but I'm an amateur at this. And here I am trying to tell you my advice of what not to do that I did. But yeah, we'll give this thing a test. Maybe tomorrow I will ride to work and give this Sissy Bar a try. It's been kind of a rainy week, so it's the first day all week I have ridden. It's been a week. 7 days since I rode last. Sunday to Sunday. Which that ride was with Amy and Steph, which you will see some footage of that coming up in the near future. Got to get some other videos out first. But let me know your comments down below if you have a Sissy Bar on your Honda Shadow. If it was as complicated as I make this one sound, or if everything went with ease for you. Let me know your year, your make, model, and what you have for a Sissy Bar. And if this is your first video because you are interested in Sissy Bars for a Honda Shadow, be sure to go down, click that subscribe button, ring the bell so you're notified for future uploads and activities. And then give this video a big thumbs up. It helps that YouTube algorithm know that I'm doing a good job with videos and that you want to see more of them in your algorithm. And then I usually try to put a Honda Shadow video out every other week. Sometimes it's a couple weeks in between, but depending on what we got going on. But I think that concludes everything I need to talk about with the Sissy Bar. So until the next time, two-wheeled friends, peace out, and we will see y'all later. Bye-bye.